Hey, Carl Whittaker podcast listeners. I literally just sat down in front of my mom and I put a microphone on her. And I was like, I'm just going to talk to my mom. So you've been crocheting, Mom. These, I'll put a couple pictures up on the podcast so people can see. You've been crocheting these little animals. What got you? Why did you start doing this? Let's see. This is so cute. When did you first learn to do crochet stuff?
Do crochet stuff?
Yeah, like when did you, I'm sorry, but when I was a kid, you didn't make me cute little bunnies. So when did this thing become a thing for you?
I don't know.
What do you think? Maybe.
I started crocheting when we lived in Georgia.
Yeah.
The 80s.
In the 80s. But what were you crocheting then?
I crochet a tablecloth.
Yes, you did.
I crochet. We didn't have a formal dining room, and I wanted a formal dining room so bad that I thought, if I crochet a tablecloth for my future dining room table, then it'll happen.
You were like manifesting stuff back then.
And it did.
So hold on. So you crocheted. So hold on. We had a house.
We had a house.
We had a dining room.
No, we did not have a dining room when I started crocheting.
Oh, we didn't even have a dining room.
No, right, correct.
Oh, so
it was on the first
you
home.
actually crocheted something and actually got a new house because you crocheted something. You not only crocheted something and got a new table, but you got a whole house. So is what you're telling the Carlos Whittaker podcast listeners is not only can they manifest something in their own home, but they can get a whole new home if they just start crocheting something. Okay, so you're crocheting a blanket, a tablecloth. And Dad is he asking, what are you doing?
Yeah,
we don't have a. Is that what he said?
He said, what are you doing? I said, I'm crocheting. Why are you crocheting? I said, a tablecloth for a formal dining room. and then he had to buy you a house. No, he didn't have to.
But then we ended up with which was the house that we moved into that had the formal dining room?
The one on Country Squire.
And that was the one and then did you get a dining room table?
Yes.
Was that a big deal?
It was a big, it was such a big deal because I used to make you guys dress up.
Yes. I was hoping you were going to say this.
Dinner.
Yes. Just the four of us.
Just the four of us.
Yes. I had a blazer that looked like a static TV, like static on a TV that I think I wore to one of my homecoming dances or snowball dances. And there's a picture that we have of me at that table. Eddie was across the table from me. Dad was at the end of the table. I think you took the photo. But we were at this dining room, that table that you're talking about, that you crocheted this thing for. And so like, why was that a big deal though for you?
I don't know. It was something that I saw on TV, and I liked the feeling of having Easter dinner all dressed up.
All dressed up. I love, it's funny because then I feel like society goes in like massive swings, right? So then it's like my generation is like, no, our parents made us dress up and sit around a dining room table that my mom manifested while she was crocheting. We're never going to do that. And then now though, now I'm 50, right? And so now I feel this swing back to the family dinner and a table, because we've not been around the table for a whole generation, and that's a cool story. I never knew that. The reason why I'm holding this little bunny started because you wanted a dining room table. And then we were talking last night how, and I'm not even sure, I'll see if you can even remember, but how somehow I was cross-stitching when I was a young kid. What was the cross-stitching you were doing before you were crocheting?
Cross-stitching, yes. I did cross-stitching way when you guys were little.
Little.
Yeah.
Because there's cross-stitching stuff everywhere through our history. Like, there's one, my favorite cross-stitching thing that you did was like a Christmas one that had little pom-poms on it or little like poofy things on it. Was it a Christmas tree with toys around it maybe?
Christmas trees with toys, yes. And that's when you were in kindergarten and Eddie was still at home. And I remember Eddie sitting by my side when it was embroidery. It had some cross-stitching in there. And he would say, when are you going to do the ball?
Yes.
When are you going to do this gift? When are you going to do this? Yeah. And I always like to do handwork.
Who taught you how to cross-stitch?
I taught myself.
Really? So this isn't a generational thing? Your grandma didn't teach you?
No, my grandma did. I have some memories of me wanting to learn how to crochet when I was little. And it's not like we were poor, but we didn't have extra money for things like hook.
Yeah.
So I never saw her crocheting, but I remember asking her to teach me. Maybe.
Oh, really?
Maybe I did. And she said, we don't have any hooks. So I went and I got a bobby pin and I stretched it out and I made a hook out of it.
Oh my gosh.
And I got some kind of thread.
Uh-huh.
And I started making chains.
No way.
Just chains with that hook.
But who taught you how to make the chains?
I guess I figured it out.
You just figured it out?
But I remember her saying, no, we don't have any hooks.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I'm going to make a hook. And I just remember making these long chains. And I would just put it all around my neck. And I would just crochet those chains.
Yeah.
That's the first memory that I have.
Really?
Crocheting. I must have been about, 7 or 8 years old.
So you've always done that?
So, but I don't remember doing anything with it.
Sure.
Until afterwards. I did some macrame.
What is that?
Macrame?
Yeah.
It's like crocheting, but with your hands.
Uh-huh. Americans spend an average of 90% of their time indoors. But did you know that indoor air can be, get this, up to 100 times more polluted than outdoor air? That's right, just the glass pane between you and breathing easy. Listen, and you can breathe easy with what? The Air Doctor, the award-winning air purifier that eliminates 99.99% of dangerous contaminants, including allergens, viruses, smoke, gases, mold spores, and so much more. Now listen, unlike other purifiers, Air Doctor captures invisible particles 100 times smaller than standard HEPA filters. Head to airdoctorpro.com and use promo code HUMANHOPE to get up to $300 off today. Air Doctor comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee plus a 3-year warranty, an $84 value free. Get this exclusive podcast-only offer now at airdoctorpro.com, airdoctorpro.com using promo code HUMANHOPE. When I started this podcast, when I started my online, whatever you want to call it, it seemed absolutely impossible to figure out how to sell anything online. Legitimately, I had to be a computer programming expert. I had like 15 different websites I had to put together with banking things and script and graphics and all that. I couldn't do it, but guess what? Shopify has it figured out for you. Shopify is the e-commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world. And get this, 10% of all e-commerce in the United States of America. You can also get started with your own design studio inside of Shopify because they got hundreds of ready-to-use templates. So Shopify helps you build a beautiful online store to match your brand's style. And best yet, Shopify is your commerce expert with world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping to processing returns and beyond. So listen, turn your big business idea into cash with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/Carlos. Go to shopify.com/Carlos, shopify.com/Carlos. Okay, so I'm leaving my mom's now. That was hilarious. So my mom has a Spanish lesson, but I just thought to myself, we need to hear from my mom. And obviously, I actually had some other questions for her that I wanted to get into. But I feel like God was saying, nope, today's not the day. Today is the day to talk to your mom about something that she loves, that brings her joy. And right now, she is crocheting. She is crocheting like a freaking machine, to where her hands are, she's got some arthritis issues. We got to figure that out for her. But she loves crocheting. And it's something that brings her peace and something that brings her joy. And it's something that she can do without holding a screen. And I think that may just be the challenge that I want to offer the Carlos Whittaker podcast listeners today. It's quite simple. What are you doing that brings you joy, that brings you peace, that doesn't involve a screen? Obviously, I wrote my book, Reconnected. And that book was about me living 7 screen-free weeks with monks and Amish farmers. And if there's one thing that I had taken back from that experience, there's obviously 7.5 weeks worth of things that I've taken back from that experience. But it's that I have continued to do things with my hands that do not allow me to hold a screen. What are some of those things? Well, I have just recently started playing golf, guys. Parlos. Last week, I think you got to see Parlos. I was on the podcast with my Chasing Parlos outfit on. Golf does not allow me to use my screen. Fly fishing. I just came back from 5 magnificent days in the great state of Wyoming and the great state of Montana. And Heather and I had 48 straight hours where we had no signal. And I was fly fishing and we were camping. And when you don't have a signal, there's really no need to use the brick 6 inches of LCD in your pocket. We were just able to be together. We were able to have conversations that we wouldn't have had we had our screen. What is the thing that you do that brings you peace that doesn't involve a screen? And my push on all of you is, if you don't have something like that, find it. If you don't have that thing that you can do that brings you peace that doesn't involve a screen, you got to find it. I don't want to hear Netflix. That ain't it. I don't want to hear video games. That ain't it. I don't want to hear editing movies. That ain't it. I want to hear that you do something. Is it gardening? Is it running? Is it crocheting? Is it fly fishing? Is it tennis? Is it golf? What is the thing? If you don't have the thing that is the most important thing you can do this week, find the hobby. I'm a hobbyist. Obviously, if you followed me long enough on social media or wherever it may be, you know that I have done bees. I have done magic. I have done knife making. I have done everything. All of the hobbies. Pickleball. Can you guys believe that I've actually forsaken my pickleball addiction for golf? Like, literally, if you would have talked to me 6 months ago, you would have thought that was the craziest thing ever, that I would give up pickleball for golf. But here I am with a secret golf YouTube channel that none of you know about, and I'm not going to tell you where it is because I'm so obsessed with this new thing. But it just allows me to be filled with peace as I don't have a screen in my hand. It's possible. Find it. What's it going to be? What's it going to look like? Typical children's vitamins are basically candy in disguise, filled with not 1, but 2 teaspoons of sugar, unhealthy chemicals, and other gummy additives that your growing kids should never eat. That's why Hiya was created, a super grain-powered chewable vitamin. So while so many kids' vitamins are filled with all sorts of stuff you don't want your kids to eat, Hiya fills in the most common gaps in modern kids' vitamins and their diets to provide the full body nourishment our kids need with that good old taste that they love. Formulated with the help of pediatricians and nutritional experts, Hiya is pressed with a blend of 12 organic fruits and veggies and then supercharged with 15 essential vitamins and minerals. Now listen, I know some of you may be tired of battling with your kids to eat their greens. Well, Hiya now has Kids Daily Greens Plus Superfoods. It's a chocolate-flavored greens powder designed specifically for kids, packed with 55 plus whole food ingredients to support brain power, development, digestion. All you gotta do is scoop that bad boy up, shake it up, and sip it with milk or any non-dairy beverage for a delicious and nutritious boost your kids will actually enjoy. We've worked out a special deal with Hiya for their best-selling children's vitamin. Receive 50% off your first order. To claim this deal, you got to go to hiyahealth.com/humanhope. This deal is not available on their regular website. Go to hiyahealth.com/humanhope and get your kids the full body nourishment they need to grow into healthy adults. You know, one of the things that I wanted to talk to my mom about, that maybe I'll talk to her next week, is just how she's doing with my dad. You know, the other day I called her from Wyoming or Montana. I can't remember which state I was in. And she answered the phone. She's like, "Hey, babe, totally fine." She looked like she'd put her makeup on that day, which is, again, big deal. She'd gotten dressed. But I noticed... I'd noticed 2 streaks of mascara that were just kind of stained down her cheeks. She did not even know they were there. I said, "Have you been crying, Mom?" And she's like, wait, no, not for a while. How do you know? And I said, you know, she looked at herself in the camera and realized, oh yeah, that was from a couple hours ago. And, you know, people ask me all the time, how's your mom? And it's so hard to answer that. My mom's sad. She cries multiple times a day. She probably cries when she wakes up. She probably cries when she goes to sleep. She probably cries multiple times in the middle of her. In the middle of her day, she probably cries while she's sleeping. It's sad. It's hard. Heather and I are just getting to the point where we're starting to feel some of the grieving for our parents, who both went home within weeks of each other. I wanted to talk to her about that, and I'm going to talk to her about that. But one thing I do know that is helping her grieve is crocheting. She's actually crocheting these little, again, we'll put it up on the feed here, but she's crocheting these little bunnies and bears, and she doesn't even know for who yet. Maybe for great-grandkids. Who knows? So Ayla, you listening, Sam? But they're just sitting there. And the beautiful thing is they don't have to be for anyone but her. Like, her little bunnies are sitting on her sofa, just looking at her, and she's just enjoying that. I don't know. There's something about doing something with your hands that doesn't involve a screen that can be healing, peace-giving, help you grieve, all the things. And so I think accidentally, that's what this podcast this week is about. I'm walking in circles because my conversation with my mom got interrupted, but maybe it didn't. Maybe this is exactly, because again, I wanted to go into something a little deeper with her, but maybe this is the space that some of you need to hear. Figure it out. Find the thing that brings you peace that doesn't involve a screen, and do it. What's it going to be? Let me know. And hey, that's all she wrote. So thanks for listening to the Carlos Whittaker podcast, the half conversation with my mom. And I look forward to talking to you again next week. And you know what? The ease at which my mom said yes to letting me hit record today, even though literally I just put a mic on her and she's like, "What are you doing?" And she said, "Are you desperate for content?" And I was like, actually, no. I think that you have some words for the Carlos Whittaker podcast listeners. Even if the words are just about crocheting, even hearing the fact that you are able to speak some words without pain in your voice, and healing enough for somebody that's listening to this that is hurting so bad because of a loss in their life, that they can hear my mom's voice and think, if her voice cannot shake for 2 seconds while she's talking, maybe there's hope for me too. And there is, I promise you. See you next week on another episode of the Carlos Whittaker Podcast.